Do you have a secret? Maybe something you keep private or share with only a select few people? Of course you do. We all do. Some things we share in public, some we keep private, and some we only tell close friends or family. Similarly, Tony's robot sidekick has some secret internal information and functionality, as well as some public information. In other words, Sidekick keeps some of its properties and methods hidden and shares some with certain people, like Tony or maybe a specialized robotics engineer. In this video, you'll explore access modifiers, a control mechanism that determines who gets to see and use certain parts of a program. Just like in real life, in programming, some things are public, some are private, and some are protected. In fact, public, which you've seen before, private and protected are the actual keywords used for access modifiers. They can be used on properties and methods of a class. If used on methods, they do not change how the method works, but only modify the area from which it can be accessed. You'll see what this means shortly. Before you get stuck into access modifiers, you must understand packages. When you have classes that are related closely, like performing similar tasks, you put them together in a group called a package for easier management. In fact, you've already grouped methods together. In the object challenge earlier in Module 3, you grouped related methods together and put them into one class, a utility class. If we take it to the next level and group classes together with a name to identify the grouping, it is called a package. That's how packages work. Related classes are grouped together and put in a package. Packages are everywhere in Java. Ready-made classes like math, string, and system are placed in collections called packages. For example, the math class is in the package java.util, and the string class and the system class are in the package java.lang. When you use a class from a package, all the other classes in that package are identified as part of the same package by the package name. However, if you don't use any package name for a class, all the classes in the same folder belong to a special package called the default package. Let's return to Sidekick. Let's imagine Sidekick has a child class named newRobot. Sidekick also has a property called battery charge. What will happen with this property in the child class newRobot? Will the property be made public or kept private, or maybe protected? Let's see how each access modifier affects access to the property. If this property is public, it is accessible from within the class Sidekick and by child classes like newRobot, whether they are in the same package or a different one. It's also accessible through objects of the same class Sidekick from outside the class. On the other hand, if the battery charge property is private, it is only accessible within the scope, or curly braces, of the defining class Sidekick. This means no child class, including newRobot, has access to a private property. Neither do objects of the class created outside of the class Sidekick. During compilation of the program, if you try to access the property from outside the class, you will get an error indicating that the property has private access. If you use protected for the battery charge property, it is accessible by Sidekick, its subclasses, child classes, regardless of package, and objects of the defining class in the same package, but not a different one. For instance, if you create an object of Sidekick in the main method of the main class, this object will have access to battery charge. And that's access modifiers in a nutshell. Let's recap quickly. If Sidekick's properties were accessible from anywhere, they would have the public access modifier. Public means that the information or method is available to everyone, like a public library where anyone can read books. Now, what about private? Private means that the information is only accessible within Sidekick's own programming. It's like Sidekick's personal diary, which only it can read. No other robot, even Psychic's child robot, new robot, can access this private information. The protected access modifier is a bit special. It's like a family secret. Psychic can share this information with its child robot, new robot, and other robots in the same family tree, which inherit from Psychic, but not with robots outside the family. It's like your own personal collection of books that you lend to friends or family members, but definitely not strangers. In summary, packages help organize related classes together, and access modifiers allow you to control who can see and use different parts of your code. Now you know that just like yourself, your program can have secrets and also share information. Happy coding!